Hello, this is Allie, the Perception Trainers, author of The Perception Diet, and today we are going to talk about how to raise your vibration. So, I realize that this is probably kind of clickbaity, and there's 1.5 million videos out there on the internet about how to raise your vibration, and that's actually why I wanted to make this, because I feel like there's a lot of misunderstanding out there about, again, like what your vibration actually is, why you would want to raise it, and how you would go about raising it. So if you've been in the New Age spiritual community for a while, you've probably heard everything that you can think of for how to raise your vibration, like practice gratitude, or do something nice for somebody else, or think positive thoughts. That's a big one, right? Think positively, focus on what you want to have happen, ignore all the shit in your life and just, positively focus. You probably heard, laugh, play, do all these fun things, get yourself into a good state. And as well intentioned as this advice may be, it is actually mostly false in a sense that it doesn't give a complete understanding of what's happening, what's going on, and what vibration actually is, okay? So now, if you recall, and if you don't, I will put a link down below to the video that I'm talking about here, where I talked about the energy, vibration, frequency, all that stuff, okay? So essentially, to summarize that, you understand that your vibration is simply the rate at which your particles or waves are moving, meaning the amount of energy that you are allowing to flow through your being, the amount of information you are allowing yourself to receive, hold, and transmit, okay? That's all your vibration is. So your vibration is the amount of energy, love, information, whatever you want to call it, that you are allowing to flow through your being, that you are allowing yourself to receive, and that you are allowing yourself to transmit. This can be measured, right? The HeartMath Institute has measured the output and input that happens from the heart, right? And this is you communicating with the universe, okay? So to understand that when you're in a low vibration, what that really means is that you are in a contracted state, right? You are in a fear state. You do not want to hear, you do not want to see, you are afraid, right? You are resisting reality, and you are resisting the flow of that energy. That is what brings us into a low vibration, right? And so when we are in that state, we are not allowing ourselves to come closer into alignment with what reality actually is. We are not allowing ourselves to come closer into alignment with the actual reality of our expanded self, right? We are not allowing ourselves to grow and evolve and be even okay with what is, right? We are in a state of resistance to life, to ourselves, to energy, all of it at the same time. And this lowers our understanding of what's happening, right? When we're in a fear state, we don't understand, we're confused, things are chaotic. When we are in resistance, right, we cannot understand because we are resisting information. So remember, everything that's happening to you in your life, all the time, in every moment, is an opportunity to take in more information, right? To understand reality deeper, to understand your place in it deeper, to understand how to manipulate energy more, to understand yourself as an expanded, creative, creator of universes being, right? To understand your power, to understand your significance, to understand your role, and to live it, right? When we are in a contracted state, when we are in a fear state, when we are in a low vibration, all that's happening is that we are believing something about ourselves or about reality that isn't true, right? We are believing in painful stories and ideas. that shut us down to reality, that make us feel like we gotta resist it and get away from it in order to be okay, and that if we were to align with it, that something bad would happen to us. That's what we all think, and that's what being in a low vibration is. When you're scared, when you're resistant, when you're saying, this is not how it should be, this is not how it should be, I am very upset about myself or about my circumstances or whatever. So, if that's what having a low vibration is, it's just being in a state of fear, so you are not allowing for the flow of information, the flow of love, the flow of energy to course through you, right? To elevate your consciousness, to evolve you, right? To bring you closer to alignment with the benevolent reality that is having a low vibration. So, this is why positive thinking or going into gratitude or sometimes, oftentimes, most times, doesn't actually work. Because you're not actually shifting your vibration when you do that. What you are doing is actually going deeper into resistance of who and what you are in this moment, which actually lowers your vibration. Okay, so newsflash. When you are in a state of resistance and you're upset with yourself and you're upset with life, and you pretend to be grateful for what you are not grateful for, that does not raise your vibration. That puts you in another layer of resistance. Now you're not only in resistance to your reality and what's happening, you're resistant to your reaction to it. And you're denying yourself and therefore lowering your vibration. It would actually raise your vibration more to admit, I fucking hate this. I don't want this. I don't like this. I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to have to deal with this. I don't like this about myself, blah, blah, blah. To like just full on admit it. That is actually shifting your vibration upwards more than pretend gratitude or pretend focusing on something else in most cases. Because at least in that moment you are being honest, which is less resistant. Do you understand this? How we lower our vibration is to go into resistance. How we raise our vibration is to release resistance. That's it. That's all it is. So when you pretend to be grateful for something you're not grateful for, when you positively focus on something that's not even happening in order to ignore what you're feeling right now, that is resistance. Okay, now, be very clear. I'm not telling you that positive visualization and that being in a state of gratitude and that focusing positively are bad things and that you shouldn't do them. Of course not. Of course not. Right? Being in gratitude is one of the greatest things that you can do. And sometimes it is like just a shift in your perspective that needs to happen. Right? Sometimes saying, okay, no, I'm just going to take a few minutes to breathe and be grateful for some stuff. Well, again, can raise your vibration in a way that allows you to relax and release, and then you can see your situation for what it really is. Okay? There have been many times in my life when I've been upset about something, I allow myself to go into a state of gratitude, which happens naturally, right? You just say, okay, I'm just going to focus on some things that I'm grateful for, and then you're like, okay, yes, right? This thing that I've been worrying about, this thing that I've been fretting about, I now have a greater understanding of it, and it seems clearer after my gratitude practice. That's totally legit. Okay? We can absolutely, so again, remembering that when you were going into that, when I was going into that state of gratitude, it was not, I'm going to ignore this thing that's happening to me. I'm not going to say, I'm pretending this thing isn't happening, or I'm going to try and get rid of it by being grateful, or I'm going to move away from it because I don't like it, and I'm just going to pretend I'm this grateful person. None of that. It was saying, okay, I'm going to move myself into a state of gratitude just because I know that when I do that, it lowers my resistance to life. When I remind myself that life is benevolent, right, I'm making myself less afraid. And when I'm less afraid, I might be able to look at my situation from a different vantage point, which, right, allows for more information to flow through because I'm less resistance just in general, right? Doing my gratitude practice helped me release resistance in general, and therefore more information about the situation that I was confused about or angry about or upset about, whatever, could flow through me so I could have a deeper understanding and then see it in a different perspective, and that does raise your vibration, okay? So remembering, It's not about bypassing your shit. You don't go into gratitude to ignore what you're feeling. You don't go into positive focus to ignore what you're feeling. You do those things with the intention that you know it's going to help you release your resistance to the thing that you're in resistance to, right? And then you can have a revelation about it. So this is what you're wanting. When there's something that's heavy, that's weighing on you, right? It is reality trying to show you something. It is reality trying to show you where you have a false belief about yourself, a false belief about the world, where you're operating from wounding and not from reality, where you are out of alignment with the benevolent reality that is, where you are out of alignment with your evolution as a conscious co-creator, right? That's when we feel bad, when we're in resistance to that. So in order to shift your vibration, all you have to do is release resistance. So if you can do the self-love practices, right, where you bring this thing that you're all in resistance about, like if it's something about yourself or something about your reality or something that you don't like in your world, you're going to say, okay, I know that the pain that is happening here is because of my false perception, right? If you can just admit that, it is not the reality that's horrible. It is my false perception about myself and my reality that is horrible. That's the first step. Now, it's not to say like if you're in an abusive relationship that isn't a horrible thing, or that, you know, that real things aren't happening. Again, we lower our resistance to these things, right? So that we can first admit how we actually feel, and that does raise your vibration. Then you do whatever you can do to, again, release resistance more. You say, I would like to understand. This is always the thing. What is this showing me? What is this trying to teach me? What is the message here? What am I missing? That is where we go, right? So we lower our resistance to whatever's happening. Sometimes we can do that with gratitude. Sometimes we can do that with positive focus. Sometimes you bring the negative thing into your heart space room and you love it. There's many techniques for releasing resistance. But you're always saying, okay, what is the answer here? And then sometimes, right, you will get a revelation. Oh, I've been seeing this thing totally wrong, right? I've been having this complete false perception of myself. I've been operating from a wounding, and that part of me just needs love. No wonder. Okay, great. Yes, move forward. Or it will be like, whoa, I'm participating in something that's totally out of alignment with reality, right? I'm in an abusive relationship and I shouldn't be. I don't need to be in this. I can get out. There are steps. You see what I'm saying? And then when you release your resistance, right? When you release your resistance to the thing you're going through, that doesn't mean that you're submitting yourself to it. Okay? What that means is you are submitting yourself to the idea that this is what's happening. And when you fully allow yourself to receive what's happening, you can then receive the information that you need to either change your perspective or to take action to change being in that relationship, which is still a change in your perspective. So, understanding. We don't bypass to raise our vibration. When we are using positive thought or gratitude or any of these scapegoating, right? I'm gonna escapist, bypass this, that's not gonna work. Because that thing that's keeping your vibration low, that's keeping you in resistance, is going to continue to be there until you release the resistance. Okay? So you can't positive think your way out of it. You can't gratitude your way out of it. That's not gonna happen. Nothing's gonna blow over. That doesn't happen. It's going to stay there and stay there and stay there because you are the one holding on. Okay? You are the one creating the contraction. You are the one creating the resistance. So if you allow yourself to relax resistance, however you do that, there are a million techniques, right? All of them work if they work for you. Meditation, journaling, talking to a friend, just allowing yourself to vent. So, and again, this is not to say that you get all self-indulgent in your negative thoughts and behaviors. You admit them and then say, okay, what am I not seeing? You admit them for the greater purpose of understanding, right? You don't admit them for the greater purpose of wallowing in them. Does this make sense? Right? So it's not about bypassing. It's not about pretending this stuff isn't happening. It's not about pretending you feel a way that you don't feel. You admit how you feel. And then you say, okay, I want to understand. I want to understand. Why am I in resistance? Where is the resistance in me? Where is the part in me that is lowering my vibration, right? That is in resistance to love, that is in resistance to information, that is in resistance to understanding, that is in resistance to me seeing and knowing myself in this life as it really is. And how can I relax and release that resistance so I can come closer into who I really am? That's what raising your vibration is. So gratitude works sometimes if it helps you release resistance. Positive thinking works sometimes if it helps you release resistance. If it's helping you ignore your situation, that's actually increasing your resistance and lowering your vibration, right? So you'll actually get more and more and more into your problem. So sometimes it requires you look at the thing. Whoa, okay, I hate my job. My body reacts terribly when I go there. This is not about me trying to be grateful for it. This is about me saying, okay, what are you trying to say? Maybe I need to quit this job. Maybe this isn't right for me. And I'm not allowing myself to see the bigger picture here because I'm in resistance to what's happening, right? I'm trying to pretend that I'm positive, or I'm pretend that I'm grateful for it, or pretend that this is a great thing when it isn't. When my body is telling me it isn't. When my emotions are telling me that it isn't, right? Acknowledge what you feel with the intention of raising your understanding. Because when you release resistance and raise your understanding, you will either have a new perspective and see, oh no, this whole big thing that I thought was a big problem isn't. It was all my perception that was totally out of alignment. Or, whoa, my perception was totally out of alignment, and therefore I was creating circumstances and situations for myself that I don't need to be in. And now I see clearly, wow, okay, here's the first step to take to get out of it. Here's the first step to create change. I'm going to take one step at a time. I may not see the whole path, but that's okay because one step at a time is all that it takes. So raising your vibration is simply releasing resistance. Release resistance to what is. Understand that that is not you saying, I submit to this. That is you saying, I submit to what is so I can understand deeper. And if a change needs to happen, it will only come once you release resistance. You will not resist your way out of anything. Okay? You will release into understanding, which will then give you inspired action, empowered action, or will shift your perspective to see that what you are in is the right thing to be in. Okay? So everything is here to teach you. Everything is here to help you. There are no mistakes. There are no punishments. There are no checks and balance systems here. This is all a school of expansion. And if you can release resistance to your life, it will be so much easier. And that's how you raise your vibration. One releasing resistance at a time. So even if this starts with, okay, I hate myself and I'm trying not to hate myself. Admit that right now you do. Just right now, that's where you're at. That's okay. Stop fighting with it. Now I want to understand. Okay? You're not going to get there by fighting. You're going to get there by releasing and understanding. Releasing, understanding. Releasing, understanding. Shifting your perspective. Having the capacity to know that you just need a shift in perspective. All you need is more information and a shift in perspective. And then everything can change. And all you need to have that is more information. Right? When you understand that all of your suffering is coming from a false perception, you will relax into it. You know it's not coming for no reason. It's not haphazard. It's all completely makes perfect sense. You created all of it, not to blame you, but to say you created it so you could learn. So release resistance, you will raise your vibration. Okay? Questions, comments, concerns, leave those down below. I love hearing from you. Like, subscribe, share, do all that fun stuff. Join us in the Patreon group. We meet 3 times a month, and it's really great. And we have a private Facebook group and all that stuff, and it's really fun. And yeah, if you have video requests, let me know about that. And I will see you in the next video.